Hello book lovers, and welcome back or welcome to Natcat's Bookish Cafe. Today I will be doing a tag called the Extraordinarily Average Tag. So I was tagged by Bookish Chaz, so thank you so much for that, Chaz. I will also link the original creator down below and have their original video linked. All right, and I will go ahead and jump right into the tag. So the first question is, what is a book that is viewed as average but you feel is extraordinary? And for this one, I have selected When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. This is a book that has a relatively low rating on Goodreads. It's considered a thriller horror, but there are a lot of people that complain that it isn't a thriller or a horror, and you can definitely watch a lot of people give their opinion on why there are certain people of a certain race that may not see this as horror. So in this book, it is heavily dealing with gentrification, in which a town is being slowly but steadily bought up by white people, and the Black people that were living in these homes are disappearing pretty much overnight. We are following a character who owns a brownstone, I believe it's called, and is refusing to sell, and we kind of watch as things like outright racism and just aggression towards her and the other Black neighbors escalate. She does team up with a white man who was moving in across the street and who was feeling like things were kind of sketchy, to try and figure out what is happening to these neighbors. I thought that the story was really well written, really suspenseful, and it's one of those books that you really don't want to put down because you want to see how it ends. I think that the ending was really impactful and drew a lot of inspiration from tragic things that happen throughout history, and I really think that this is a very relevant story to what is happening, especially here in the US. So it is definitely kind of sad to see that people overlooked that and found this book lacking, because I did give this book 5 stars, and it is one of my favorite books of all time. The next question is, who is an author that is seen as average but you think is extraordinary? Now, I don't know if this author is really seen as average, but I haven't ever really seen much from him. He doesn't really seem to be making the rounds, and that is Cole McCade. Over the last few months, I have read his Undue Arrogance trilogy, which is available on Kindle Unlimited. These are male romances that have a BDSM theme. I think that this writer has such a beautiful writing style that works so well with the themes of the books that he is choosing to write, that I am kind of surprised that he is not talked about more in the romance community, and specifically the queer romance community. I loved all of his book. I think they all either got 5 stars or 4.5 stars. I was really invested in all of the relationships. I thought he did a great job balancing the sweetness of a relationship with the heat and sexiness that comes with a BDSM themed story. I really enjoyed all the characters. I thought they were all very original, and had a lot of tropes that people would really enjoy. We had some age gaps going on there. We had some secret princes. We had some situations where they were kind of, not really enemies, but there's definitely a dislike between the two that blossomed into a relationship. So his books just had a lot of great things going to them, and I think they deserve a lot more love. The next question is, who is a band or musician whose music is seen as average but you think is extraordinary? Now, this one was a little hard for me because I do love music, but I don't actively look for new music to listen to. I don't know if that makes sense. If a song happens to fall into my lap and I like it, you know, lucky me. But that also means that just because I like a song from a band or a musician, it doesn't mean I'm gonna go check out their other stuff. That might be kind of a dumb thing to do because I could find other great music that way, but I don't do that. So what I did for this is I looked through my YouTube playlist and chose 3 songs that had under 1 million views, and decided to put those as my 3 songs or musicians that I think deserve a bit more hype. The first one is Gloria Tells. I'm a real big fan of her song Love. The next is the Zales, and their song Ancient Mars. And the third is Sarah Kinsley and her song The King. Question number 4 is, what is a TV show that a lot of people think is average but you think is extraordinary? Once again, I don't watch a ton of TV, and when I do, it's probably the more popular shows. So a lot of the shows I really enjoy, other people really enjoy as well. I decided to choose for this one The Ancient Magus Bride. Now, this one I know is a relatively popular manga and anime. However, I have heard plenty of times some complaints about the theme of the story because it does include a girl that has been bought on the market, and it's kind of a romance between her and the creature that bought her, which for me, in a fictional setting with a character who doesn't seem too bummed about her situation, is totally fine. But I can see definitely how some people think this is problematic and maybe makes them uncomfortable. However, I just think that the artwork in this anime is so beautiful. I did also recently see that a season 2 will be coming out soon, so maybe I'll have to give it a rewatch soon. Question number 5 is, what is a Booktube channel whose subscriber number is average but you think should be extraordinary? I decided to choose 2 people for this. I have a lot of wonderful people that I follow, but these are 2 people that I specifically enjoy watching in the morning when I'm kind of like just waking up, because I think they just have such a great energy. So I definitely think that they should be getting a lot of love. And that is Allison on a Book Break and Strawberry Lemon Books. Allison does a lot of TBR games. She has her wheel that she spins, as well as her Sims game. She will also often spin for her followers if they request it. So definitely go check her out. Strawberry Lemon Books is someone that I'm relatively new to, but I do absolutely love hearing her talk about her books that she's reading. She really brings such high energy to it and such positivity to it that, you know, groggy morning Natalie just loves to absorb all of that. So definitely go check those 2 channels out, and I'll link them down below. Number 6 is, what is a skill that you are average at but you would like to be great at? I have a few of these, I guess. The first one is editing. I do keep my editing relatively simple, mostly because of time. I just don't have a ton of time to edit. This is a hobby for me. It's not, you know, a full-time job or anything, but it would be kind of fun to maybe learn some little neat tricks to just make my videos a little bit more interesting. Another thing I would like to improve on is working out. For the last few months, I've been going to the gym on a more regular basis, but I'm still definitely in the learning phase, and probably neglecting quite a few of my smaller muscles. So some time with a personal trainer probably wouldn't hurt. The third one is a more recent realization, and that is interviews. I'm not terrible at interviews, but I definitely could use some work on those, which is probably what I'll be doing this weekend. All right, number 7's a little longer, so I have my computer here to read it off. It says, you find a time machine that will take you back in time for a day, but the day you select must be an average day. Where would you go and what would you do to make this trip extraordinary? So for this one, I put 1979, Mount St. Helens, which is near me, not super near, but like a couple hours away or so, erupted in 1980. And I find there to be something very interesting and impactful about being in a place before it is dramatically changed. So I think it would be really great to go check out Mount St. Helens before she blew her cap. It looked like she was a very beautiful and majestic mountain, so I would love to spend like a beautiful spring day. Maybe there's some beautiful spring flowers, and just to see her beautiful snow-capped tip and everything, just spend some time enjoying her before she gets that giant crater blown out of the side of her face. Number 8 is you win a week of vacation, but all the popular travel spots are all booked out. Where would you go and what would you do to make the trip extraordinary? Now, I would go, I guess, to one of the more less popular places in Hawaii. I have been to Hawaii and I know that it's a relatively popular travel spot, but there's parts of it that aren't as touristy, and I would love to go check those out. I did go to Hawaii a few years ago, and there was 2 things about that trip that really stuck with me. The first being having my first experience swimming with a sea turtle that was one of those experiences that you shed a tear while you're there. You know, you can't help it. It's just such a beautiful moment. The second is the food. Everything there was so delicious. I honestly could have gone like dumpster diving and would have still had like an extravagant, delicious meal that I would be giving 5-star reviews to on Yelp. So I would love to go back to Hawaii to be able to eat some of that scrumptious food again. And the last part is tagging some extraordinary people. Now, I don't always like tagging people because I'm like, I don't know if you've done this before or if you like doing tags or not. So, you know, don't feel like you need to do it or anything like that. But these 2 have a readathon that is occurring later this month. I really like this readathon and they're on my mind right now, which is why I'm tagging them. And that is Bailey from Is Bailey Reading and Kayla from Kayla Ray Reads. If you're not following them, definitely go ahead and check them out. That readathon, I think, is starting on the 19th, so you still have time to join. All right, guys, so that is the average tag, the extraordinarily average tag. If you want to let me know your answers to these questions down below, I am very interested to see them. Of course, if I didn't tag you and you want to take part in this tag, definitely do that. Otherwise, thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching my videos, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!